Hello, it's 7 o'clock. Welcome everybody. This is Jean MacDonald, the Midlife Midwife, signing on for our 6 steps to take control of your life for midlife women. And I'm delighted to say we've already got our guest expert online with us, Johann Callaghan. But hi, Johann. Now, before I introduce Johann properly, and I want to do it properly, I want to set the scene by telling you something about the Midlife Butterfly Club's view on this topic of health and wellness. Because I have to warn you, some of our ideas are a little let's say controversial and certainly unusual. So let's go and see what we've got. So, as I said, health and wellness for midlife women, and tonight's guest expert is Johann Callaghan. Johann Callaghan. And she's a sleep and health coach. So moving on. Right, so the Midlife Butterfly Club's ideas are somewhat different from the usual stuff. And I have to praise the Natural Health Service, which is the service we have in this country, but in other countries, we also have state health services, because it does a great job if you are seriously ill. I've had some wonderful help when I've been seriously ill, but when it comes to anything that's long term, and those are called chronic diseases, then it's not quite so good. So the health service has got a policy. It's not deliberately against us, but basically the health service in every country, its job is to get us better when we're ill and send us back to work, because when we're working, we're earning and we're paying taxes. It may sound a bit cynical, but that's what it is. And the difference is that you may be well enough to go to work, but you won't necessarily feel well, especially going through the perimenopause. So that's what the state health systems want, just to get you back working and saying, well, I'm not ill, but you could still feel awful. And that's where wellness becomes. Being well is being not ill, but also feeling well. And the thing about wellness is it's a continuing process of improvement. So you can feel weller and weller, or better and better, according to the amount of care you give yourself. And with the right self-care, we can now look forward to a ripe old age, of our 90s perhaps, maybe even over 100, which is a lot more than our mothers and grandmothers could look forward to. So that's what the topic is. We're going to talk about wellness particularly. Now, we'll start off by looking at the woman's body. And if you look at this picture for a woman's body and a man's body next to each other, they're not that different on the outside. But of course, as you know, they are very different on the inside. Women go through 2 major changes in their life biologically. And the first one is when they change from being children to being a young woman. And that's a very marked difference. If you have your own children, you'll have seen it. It's quite amazing when it happens. And you can observe it, which you couldn't particularly observe when it's happening to you. So in that process, we move from being a child to a young woman. And that part of our life is 18 to 40 approximately. Now, the thing about this is that we have a body. Our body develops to do a job. And that job is to find a partner, build a home, have children. And we have nature on our side. Everything in our bodies and in nature is pushing us towards that, because that's how humanity has survived. It's because nature is so powerful in ensuring that we repopulate the planet. And so it's the main imperative for nature is more people, more babies, more adults, so the show can go on. Now, when that job is done, and maybe 40, 45, 50, it depends for different people, but when that job is done, our bodies change again. And this change is as significant, it's as significant change for us. You know, we experience it just like the change from being a child to a young woman. And in this one, we become a midlife woman with the age range of 45 approximately, can be a bit earlier, can be a bit later, to 70 and beyond. But look at the 2 bodies. The first body was built to design to do the job it had to do. Now our bodies are there to do another job. And that is to become a more serious person, a more measured person, a wiser person. So we can fulfill the role of a wise woman in our society, which was very cherished up till well, let's say up to 2,000 years ago. Well, maybe a bit less than that, but let's say in the midst of past, women were regarded as sources of wisdom, experience,